Moreno, and we are here with a special guest from Cheris Contractors. This is Dave Wandel, a legendary roofer in this area in Baltimore. You've been working in Baltimore as a roofer for how long?
29 years.
29 years. So you've seen a lot of different roofs in your day at this point.
A lot of different roofs.
All right, like thousands, are we saying? Like,
definitely thousands. Definitely thousands. We do about 250, 300 roofs a year.
All right, perfect. So this is absolute expert in this industry on roofs, and he's going to go over a lot of the different types of flat roofs you're going to see in Baltimore City and a lot of the misconceptions that you hear about them, because from what I'm hearing, there's a ton of them out there.
There's a lot.
All right.
A lot of misinformation, and I would like to help educate all of our property owners, management companies, landlords about the different types of roofs and different systems out there.
All right, perfect. So this is an opportunity to hear from one of the best. This is another pro tip episode. So go ahead and take it away. What flat roof do you have for us first?
Well, let's start. The most common flat roof is the hot tar roof, which is starting to become obsolete now. But most of the roofs that you see at all of them that you see at one time had a hot tar roof, and often still do. And a hot tar roof is multiple layers of tar and paper. It's also called a built-up roof. Okay, your hot tar roofs are supposed to be recoated every 3 to 5 years with hot tar.
Okay, so nothing else, no like silver coat or anything?
No silver coat, no anything like that, okay? The reason for that is that with a hot tar roof, there are no manufacturer warranties. The only warranty that comes with a hot tar roof is whatever the contractor gives, and that is based on whether it's a 2-ply, 4-ply, 6-ply, 8-ply roof, and that's how many layers of paper there are, okay?
All right.
And then where the recoatings come in is that over the course of the roof aging, the petroleum dries out, the chemicals evaporate, then you have expansion and contraction due to change of temperature.
Okay.
Sun beats on it all day long, sun goes down, the roof's moving, expanding and contracting, and it starts to crack, get little cracks in it, which we call alligatoring.
Okay.
Okay, and the
Is
water.
that what it looks like? It looks like an alligator.
It looks like it looks like a spider web.
Okay. All right.
Right. The whole roof will look like a giant spider web with little cracks.
And that's when you know you need to have.
Yeah, that's why hot tar roofs are supposed to be recoated every 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
With hot tar.
Okay. Nothing else.
Nothing else. The silver coating, okay, is an aluminum fiber paint, and it is meant to be used on your torch down roofs and your metal roofs. Okay,
So just those two.
Just those two. It is not a leak stopper.
Okay.
It's a maintenance issue. It's designed to reflect the sun, the ultraviolet rays in the sun, which is the biggest. The ultraviolet rays in the sun is what breaks down and deteriorates any roof, whether it's hot tar, TPO, EPDM, shingle roof. It's the ultraviolet rays that do the most damage to a roof.
All right. So basically that's the big misconception. I know I was told to silver coat my roof, and I believe I had a hot tar roof. So in that case, just would not have been actually something I needed.
It would do absolutely nothing for the roof.
Nothing at all. So,
okay.
And you only every 3 to 5 years coat hot tar roofs?
Yes.
All right.
And there's probably only a couple of companies left in Baltimore that are still doing hot tar roofs. It's pretty much an obsolete
So pretty
system.
much at this point, flat roofs, they last 10 years. You shouldn't have to worry about them.
Right. And at the price point of a torch down roof versus a hot tar roof, you're at the same price point, and a hot tar roof requires maintenance.
So at this point then, why do we hear this sometimes as some investors? I know I've heard that, we have to replace the roof every 3 years. Why do some roofers still tell us that? Is that an attempt maybe to get more business? Or?
I think it's a couple of different things. Sometimes it's just uneducated roofer that hasn't kept up with the new products and the new technology. And sometimes it's just somebody that's trying to basically sign you up to a service maintenance contract. So some of it's uneducated, and sometimes it's just what I would just consider dishonest, selling somebody on something that they don't need.
All right, well, that's perfect. This is perfect for us to know. So what? Let's go ahead to the next flat roof that we got. What's the next most common type?
So the next most common, and your replacement roof, the most common at this time right now is probably your torch down roof, which everybody calls a torch down rubber roof, which it's really not. It's technically a modified bitumen roof.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody calls it a torch down rubber roof, but it's not. It is actually not a rubber product. It's a petroleum product, and but that's the most common name. And even though it's
not,
it's wrong. And even most of your contractors out here call it a torch down rubber roof, so the consumer's not confused.
Okay. All right. No, that makes sense. All right. Go.
So your torch down roofs, they are either a smooth surface or a granule surface. The smooth surface has a 10-year manufacturer's warranty, and the granule has a 12. Okay?
All right, so a little bit longer there. All right.
A little bit longer. Your smooth surface, if you silver coat the roof,
okay,
they extend the warranty an additional 2 years, making it a 12-year roof. It's a one-time application. So the silver coating is a one-time application. I do recommend it because, like I said, it reflects the sun. It'll keep the roof cooler, and it'll help it last longer. But it's a one-time application.
So
you need to.
No more redoing this.
No more redoing it every 3 years. Not necessary. It's just in a paint. It reflects the sun. And you also have to wait 30 days after the original install because the rubber needs to set up and cure.
Okay.
Okay, because you've heated the roof up with a torch and now you've affected the chemical properties. Everything needs to cool back down, go back to its natural state before you coat the roof.
I mean, as someone who doesn't know this business, it sounds like that's one of the better roofs. Is there any reason you wouldn't want to use this type of roof?
Oh, some of it is none. Okay.
There's none. All right.
But other than if you want a longer a roof with a longer lifespan in there. Okay.
Okay. So
of course you pay for that also.
So it basically comes down to cost.
It comes down. It comes down to cost.
All right. Fair enough. And you said we have 4 types of roofs, right?
Yes.
So what's the 4th type of flat roof you're gonna?
Well, we're going to go to the third.
Or third. Yes. Yeah, sorry, third type of roof.
So, but both our 3rd and 4th roofs are 20-year roofs. Mm-hmm. Okay, and so at one time the most common for your 20-year roofs were your EPDM roofs. Okay, which is what does it stand for?
Oh, probably a scientific name.
A scientific name. Okay, but it's basically your EPDM roof is like a inner tube.
So this is like
that's like a bicycle inner tube. That's an EPDM roof.
All right.
Okay. It's a 20-year roof. The seams are glued together. Okay.
Okay.
Which is why I've never been a great big fan of them. You're counting on a glue to stand up for 20 years, and just about every EPDM roof that I've been out on that's had a leak, it's always been a seam failure.
Okay. So.
Okay.
Is that an easy repair?
It's an easy repair, but once you have water leaking, now you're fixing seal-ins, painting seal-ins.
It's maintenance upkeep.
Right, so I've never been a big fan of the EPDM roofs. Okay? All right. Then you move on to your TPO roofs, okay, which is thermoplastic olefin, which is basically a blend of plastics and rubber. Okay.
And you have an example of one of those too.
And this is your
like paper.
Yes, it's much thinner. Okay, and it actually comes in 3 colors: white, a gray, and also a light tan. Okay, and these are a 20-year roof. Your seams are welded together with hot air.
Okay.
So it takes about $15,000 worth of equipment to be able to install a TPO roof, which has kept a lot of your smaller companies out of the TPO product because they don't want to make the investment.
So at this point, that's not, for the average investor in Baltimore City, you're telling us that this is not an option.
No, well, it is with our company.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Man, been doing it 30 years.
And it is an option for somebody that wants a better roof, that wants to spend a little bit more money. Okay. Remember, it's a 20-year roof versus a 10-year roof.
Yes.
Okay. So what is your plan for the property? Okay. When we get into a roof that has too many layers on it, that we can't go over top of the existing roof, or maybe there's some structural issues because of leaks and there's bad wood, and the only way to address that's to tear the roof off. At that point, when we go back, if we have to tear the roof off, we're going back with the TPO roof versus even the torch roof, because your prep work and the accessories that go with it is the same for both the TPO and for the torch.
Gotcha.
Okay. And that's on for new construction or now on, which is what a tear off is. But if you're able to go over top of a roof, you don't need the extra materials that are required for the TPO roof on the torch if you're just doing a recover.
All right, perfect. So those are basically the four main types of, I mean, we say main, but is there any other type of roof at all?
Not for your flat roofs. You have a PVC roof, which is similar to the TPO product. It's that you need to use if it's on a restaurant.
Okay.
Okay, because of your grease traps on the roof.
Okay.
The grease will actually eat up the TPO roof, but it won't a PVC roof.
Gotcha. Okay. So most investors probably won't have heard of that.
Not unless they own a commercial property that has a restaurant on it.
That's true.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, a carry out doesn't even have to be a restaurant. Anywhere where there's a grill. Okay.
All right. Well, going into all of that, is there anything else we should know about flat roofs? Maybe misconceptions about it, or something the average investor should know?
I think the biggest thing. Let's look at your roof's leaking. Okay.
All right.
And you have a hot tar roof, and you have to understand the nature of how the roof is constructed. Because where you're seeing the leak at is 99% of the time not where the problem is on the roof. Because remember, a hot tar roof is multiple layers of tar and paper.
Yep.
So the water's traveling. So the leak, the source of the water penetration could be 10, 15 feet away.
So it makes it complicated quite a bit.
Right. So if somebody's coming out and you call somebody and you have a flat roof and you're having a leak and it happens to have a hot tar roof on it, and you have somebody that's coming out and saying that they can do a patch,
then that's not.
There's highly unlikely that that you can do a patch and guarantee that you're going to get the problem. Because you have to understand, there's no way to pinpoint the actual source of the water penetration.
So how would you address that type of issue? Do you just have to
put a new roof on?
Put a new roof on. All right.
Okay, right. And if you came out and you had a flat roof and you're having a leak, it's a hot tar roof. I go up there. There's nothing obvious, like there used to be an antenna and it fell over or pulled the guide wires out, or something where there's an obvious penetration into the roof, then I am going to tell you that the only way I can give you a guarantee is to install a new roof.
I guess hearing you talking about the cost of I guess $2,000 for roof. So obviously this would be way variable depending on square footage. But is there like a range that we could expect per square foot to install? Let's say your most common roof. I think you said the torch down.
Yes.
Okay.
Your torch roof is going to run you on an average between $1,500 to about $2,700 for the majority of your homes here in Baltimore City.
In Baltimore,
okay.
yeah.
And what's affecting that range there is whether there's a skylight or not and how large it is.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And if it has a skylight, that skylight should be replaced in the course of putting the roof on.
Okay. And just for those who don't know about the whole skylight situation, why is it that skylights should be removed?
So in order to install the roof properly, your skylight is sitting on a box.
Yep.
We call it a curb. In order to do the flashing correctly, you need to remove that skylight.
Okay.
There's, especially if it's the original skylight, there's no way that we can guarantee that we can remove it and put it back without damaging it, breaking the welds in the skylight or something like that. So.
All right. Well, then I guess the only final question is you get some of those roofs in Baltimore, they're very common, where you have those flat roofs, but with a deck on top of it. Does that add anything as far as like cost that we should expect to repair those? Or?
Yes. So the first thing I have seen that hopefully our contractors, our general contractors are getting a little bit more knowledgeable, but you should never install a deck without putting a new roof down first.
All right.
Same thing as far as the solar panels on a single roof, okay?
Okay.
Because it has to be removed, especially if your deck is a foot off of the roof.
Yep.
There's no way to do any repairs or access it or do anything to it if you start to have a problem. So you should most definitely put a new roof on before you put a rooftop deck on.
Gotcha. All right. Well, so and I guess if you buy a house with a deck already on it, should that just immediately, you should recode it, or?
I would say if you're buying a house and there's a rooftop deck that you want to have a roofing company come out there and assess that before you ever buy the house.
All right.
Because think about it. If you need a new roof and you have a deck, you're going to have to remove that deck.
All right, well, this is all huge, valuable information. We're going to go ahead and do more videos just like this with David Wandel, 30 years in the business, Cheris Contractors. If you guys want to ask any other information about this, you can certainly ask us or contact Dave at the number you're going to see below and also on the next screen. But anyway, I appreciate you coming out here. This is definitely a legendary guy in the business. If you need a roof repaired in Baltimore, I've already hired him. This is the guy you want. I appreciate you.
Cool.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.